Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Welcome back, everybody. She is an energy healer. She's demonstrated a lot for us over the last number of weeks we've gotten together, how energy supports us, how you can work with energy for better outcome, to feel better, less anxiety, less stress, harnessing the power of energy. Today, we're going to look at it in a different way, a different type of energy, sound energy. When you listen to music, you are hearing energy, essentially vibrations. What happens when you listen to music? Many different things. You could feel good. You could feel sad. You could be transported back to an earlier time, whatever it might be, but it makes such a difference. It can also heal you. She's back with some sound today. Alisha B is on the program. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you today?
Really good, really good. I'm going to put a disclaimer before we do anything here, just to get it out of the way. We would love to reproduce some of the sounds that she uses to heal. We're on a Zoom, and Zoom has filters that focus on the voice and basically block out any other vibrations or sounds. So that's why we can't actually demonstrate it. I would love to. And there's different settings. We've tried them all. It just doesn't allow for these sounds to come through. But when you're in person and maybe some other ways to convey conversation, maybe not Zoom, probably telephone. You could probably hear them on your cell phone, believe it or not. It's just the filters that Zoom uses. So let's dig into how sound helps somebody. I guess it would be impactful to explain that it's a vibration.
Yes. So sound is vibration. And I love that you brought up songs that we listen to or radio that we listen to. The standard is to tune music to a 440 hertz. It's kind of like a tone that is said to slightly cue the system in. So whether it's happy, sad, it gets that emotional response from you. That's the reason they use that. And what I do, typically we do 432 hertz as your baseline healing frequency. But it's the vibration from the sound, whether you audibly hear it or not, that is impacting your body. And so as doing sound therapy, we're using those tones and those frequencies to help regulate your system, to help your mind be more clear and, your mood stabilize. And so we use it for a lot of different things.
That's a really great point you bring up, that whether you hear it or not, it's a vibration, and the vibration can get in and do whatever it needs to do. I think a great example, I've seen this before, where people who can't hear are at a venue and there's music being played and they're moving and feeling it because they're feeling the vibration go within. And, take one sense away, your other senses are more heightened. So you're picking up on that. It's pretty fascinating. 432 hertz. That is, so are you saying that's kind of like the baseline?
That's your baseline for the general healing frequency. And they go in an array, like in front of me. I know we can't hear them. I have a 64 hertz tuning fork. These are weighted. That's what these are for. And it's so I can put it on you physically, like physically touch it to the body. That's what a weighted one is for. And so the 64 hertz, you can't hear it. Like I can strike it. I know you can't. I can't hear this vibrate. There's no audible sound because it's only 64. But when you put it on the body, it sends the vibrations through here into your body. And this one is specifically for like joints, aches, and pains. It'll help alleviate that. And it's by your body taking notice of that vibration inside. Your cells notice it, your muscle system, your nerves, they all feel it. And then they change into a regulated state. So that homeostasis that we want.
Wow. And that's low. If I were to go like this, just send out a vibration that seems like low, that's probably in the territory, and I'm just guessing, but I love sound. So that's probably like 200 hertz. You're talking 60. So that's substantially lower than what I just produced. And again, I don't know if that was the exact frequency, but it was, probably in the ballpark of that. And you even have tuning forks that go lower than that, right?
I do. I have a 32. She's a bit longer.
Hmm.
This is a lymphatic drainage one. So those about lymph, I don't know if you know about your lymphatic system. So that drains all the icky stuff out of your body, helps you excrete it through urine or feces. And so this helps clear out whatever's stuck in the lymphatic system. And there's certain ways as a practitioner we use it over the body in order to cultivate that vibrational clearing of the lymphatic system.
Mm.
So it's like you draw it down the body and you're draining to where, like towards the armpit or towards the groin, because those are big lymphatic hubs, so to speak. And it helps your body flush out toxins. Yeah.
It's huge. Many of us don't even realize what's going on there, but lymph node, we have
Yes.
like hundreds all over in our body. And side note, when cancer gets into your body, one of the first things it does is get into the lymph nodes. And once that happens, the potential for it to spread throughout your body because of the lymphatic system is very
Mhm.
high because it goes
Yes.
everywhere in your body. Um, it is one of the most under valued things. Many people don't even talk about it. And I'm going to just throw a side note here. I did a podcast, number of them, a couple of years ago with a woman who was writing books about the lymphatic system. She was
Hmm.
so into it, and just because of her history, and she could not find diagrams and photos to illustrate properly the lymphatic system. She went back to drawings, not even kidding, from the 1800s and maybe even before that she came that were so very detailed and accurate. It's almost like we ignore what's going on with that system, but it's everything. It drains everything out of your body, the toxins, right?
Yes, it does. And I can say so, as I'd say before, I was a registered nurse. I can't remember a specific diagram showing every lymph node within the body system. We know the
Wow.
hubs, like these ones here, along the jawline. We all know those. When we get a sore throat, they kind of pop up. So that's your lymph nodes. You have the hub in your armpit, your axillary area, as we call
Yep.
it in the medical field. But other than that, most people don't know where their lymph nodes are.
Yep.
And they honestly, it's kind of just think head to toe. It just drains head to toe. That's it's kind of
And there are so many, and when we say bigger, that right inside
Mhm.
there, that would be a bigger one.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's probably the ones that are here. When you go to the doctor,
Mhm.
what's the first thing? One of the first things they do is they feel
We're
that
right
lymph
up
node,
there. Yeah.
right? Because
Hmm.
that's, a lot of times when you have an infection, those are going to swell. But then there's so many more that are so much smaller within your body, but all of them working together, this roadway of the lymphatic system and lymph nodes flushes the toxins. So when things get clogged up, um, you got to do something to clear them out.
Yes,
Hmm.
you do. And there is, everybody gets a choice on what they want to do. This is called alternative healing, so alternative medicine. There are medications you can use, but this is a healthier alternative. So you're not putting something in your system while we're trying to clean you out, right?
Sure.
And so it's kind of a balance. I will never tell anybody to go one direction or the other. I respect free will and choice. And so this is just an option if you're not wanting to go get a medication to work through this. A sound practitioner can help drain that if they're trained in using the lymphatic system.
Amazing. And we're just focusing on one aspect of sound to heal. Now, it was always my understanding that you want to get the highest vibration. You want to be in the highest vibration. When we look at these tuning forks, they're low vibration.
Mhm.
So I try to put that together and it doesn't compute.
Well, the human body resonates in the 60s for hertz. We're kind of low resonance anyway.
Hmm.
That doesn't mean we can't raise our vibration. So that's soul level. It's kind of a separation, but your physical
Okay.
has a vibration in the 60s-ish, 64, 68, somewhere in that range. Um, and so when we talk about raising your vibration, that's that soul level. When we go to our highest purpose, our highest timeline, we are raising our vibration, but our resonance as a physical being stays about the same. And
Gotcha.
so also in our body, the chakras, the energy centers, I have some tuning forks for them as well. Let me pull one out. So this is for your root chakra. It's red. It kind of helps you denote it. It's 852 hertz. That's because that's an energy center within the body, not the physical body that we're working on.
Now I get it. Yeah. All right. What are some of the other things in terms of sound that you can do to help support somebody?
Another thing that I have specifically is called a vibroacoustic table. Again, that's vibrations. So there's certain frequencies, certain tracks that I'll play. Depending on what you're looking for, I actually have 3-page list of what you can choose from. It breaks it down to muscular systems, to the skeletal system, your organs. If you want a meditative conscious connection, we can put vibration on this table, and you lay there. Your purpose as someone coming to it is to relax into the energy. That's all you have to focus on. Me as your practitioner, I'll do all the work for you. So you get on the bed, you get comfortable. I'm going to turn on some frequencies. And then, like in my energy sessions, I get a mini read that spirit loves to come in when you've taken the time to work on yourself, to give you a little boost and to help you out a bit more. And these frequencies, they're just, I can't even explain how relaxed I become. I'm a meditator. I do meditation. But when I'm on this bed, it is like tenfold on how relaxed, calm, and centered I become. It's just wild.
Is it physically vibrating?
It is. So there's actually, you know about sound. So there's transducers under the table.
Got it.
And that is actually vibrating the platform that you're laying on.
Essentially, it's speakers, because a speaker essentially a transducer. It's taking electrical energy, i.e., coming from a device, be it a amplifier, sound system, whatever it might be, and then putting it into a paper cone that vibrates to send that energy out, reproduce it. With what you've got, it's just not the cone, but it is creating a vibration. I'm fascinated that you can actually feel it. You can feel something.
It feels like a deep tissue massage without the pressure.
Okay.
So you don't have to feel the pushing going in, but you feel like you just got the best massage of your life.
Wow.
From head to toe.
How do you change up the frequency, or is it always the same frequency, or you dial different ones in for whatever goal?
So I have specific ones that were produced, and they're called VAT frequencies, vibroacoustic therapy frequencies, and they are researched and they are put together specifically to use for this modality. My list goes, I can just pull my paper, sorry.
Sure.
I have 3 pages, but we have lists like muscular and skeletal frequencies, energy and balance, pain management. This is like my favorite one. And then your human body frequencies for different organ systems.
So somebody would come to you, they would tell you what they're dealing with or what their goal is, and then you would cross-reference what frequency would be best for them, and then the table can reproduce it.
Correct.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you do multiple frequencies? Let's say I've got a rotator cuff issue, I've got this, I've got that going on. Would it be in one session different frequencies?
Yes. There are some of these are like a series of frequencies. So there's 5 or 6. If you select one, you'll go through 5 different frequencies, and you'll feel the pause in between, and then you're going to feel the change in the tone. You literally can feel it. So it's like a deep hum, then it gets a higher hum, and a higher one, and a higher one, and you'll feel the change in frequency.
That's just amazing. Wow. Well, tell me what people tell you after going through some of these sessions.
I had one tear up, tell me they have never felt so relaxed and so calm. It's someone that has a lot of anxiety. They don't like, on my bed, I always ask you to close your eyes, because then you're taking away the extra sensory input and you can focus on the frequency.
Kind of what we just said before with people who can't hear.
Exactly.
The other senses are more keyed in. So, all right. Yeah. Close your eyes. Wow.
Close your eyes. They weren't exactly comfortable with that just due to life situations, but as they went through it, they said they were able to relax into it, and they felt almost like their world opened up. There's so many possibilities, and they realize that now because they were actually able to relax in a full relaxed state.
Wow. Put me on that table. I'll close my eyes before I'm even on the table.
I'm telling you, we got some that range from 15 minutes to an hour, depending on what you're looking for. And it's just I've had people come in with pain in the hands. I've used, my little guy here. They were able to close their fists. They hadn't been able to actually use their fingers properly, and they were able to do that with reduced pain. I'm not saying it's going to take it away and you're going to be pain free, but it's going to make it more mobile. We're going to mobilize joints in your muscular system, and we're going to reduce the pain. The more you do it, the more reduction occurs, and we can get you to almost a non-noticeable pain level, maybe a 1 out of 10. But there's no guarantee we will take it 100% away.
Nothing's guaranteed in life.
Exactly.
Just
Exactly.
let's be honest, okay? Don't ignore the elephant in the room. Even you go to the doctor and you get a script and you get meds. Where's the guarantee? No guarantee.
There is none. Yeah.
Mm.
This
But
is a safe alternative. There's a few things like if you're actively bleeding, don't go to a vibroacoustic bed. That's going to help promote that. It does help promote circulation. And so if you're actively bleeding, you're going to bleed more because we're helping that out.
wow,
Or there's some other conditions. And I have an article out on Insight Psychics about this table and what you should definitely seek a physician for. Other than that, those conditions, everybody can benefit from a sound table.
amazing. Didn't even know a table existed. I've known about sound healing. And the very first time I ever really experienced it, this was, I want to say 3 years ago. Somebody
Hmm.
invited me to a cacao ceremony, which uses pure chocolate from the tropical rainforest. It's supposed to have some euphoric properties. You have great meditations. So they, mixed up a cup of that, throw a little agave in there, sweetened up. We drank it. And to begin the session, somebody had a sound bowl. I've never heard one in person. All I did was strike it. Boom. I felt like there was a hurricane rushing through my body.
Yes.
It was,
Yes.
I just stopped me in my tracks. I didn't even know what to expect with this whole thing. Somebody signed me up. I just went with a friend. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, whoa, that was really cool. And that's it.
Yes.
That wasn't the intent of this um, session and meditation. There was a meditation after that people were crying. Everybody in the room,
Mm.
myself included, were crying. That's how
Yes.
impactful this was. That wasn't sound. There was something different going on there in terms of breathing and et cetera. But that was my first foray into what sound does. But I shouldn't be surprised because right back to music,
Hmm.
what it
Yeah,
does for you. Why do we listen to music? There's always a goal. We don't just, I don't care what anybody says. You don't just put on a song just because you're putting on music. There's deep inside, there's a reason you put it on. Well, you
I
seek it out.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I always, well, I do. I can't say everybody else, but I typically, whatever mood I'm in, that's the sound I'm chasing. That's the music I'm chasing. So if I'm in a bad mood, I'm perpetuating that bad mood by putting on the music that continues that bad mood. And so you have to make that adjustment like, okay, I'm feeling let me put on something that's going to mellow me out. And that's what sound therapy is. It's a mellow. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever put on music and you keep listening to the same song and you don't know why? You're trying to figure it out, whether it's the lyrics or the music.
Yes.
I'm in the, rabbit hole right now for a long time with one particular song. Most people wouldn't even know it. Major artist back in the day, but it's just like and I've even studied it, like what he was going through when he wrote it. He was going through some challenges. He really was.
Hmm.
But maybe those challenges brought out the creativity. It might be impactful too when we talk about music and sound. You can take these sounds that you're producing with the tuning forks, etc., and
Hmm.
listen to music that's created around it. So there's, a bass line of music. There's a lot of drony stuff, keyboards, whatever. But what you do is infused on top of it with frequencies for a certain
Yes.
purpose. It's actually pretty
Yes.
wild, pretty cool.
It's like it feels like magic. Like when I get on the table, I'm like, wow, people get to this is crazy. How does this work? And even though I know how it works, I'm asking the same questions that people ask when they come to me. because I too am just astonished at what it can do. Because growing up, I didn't know sound could be healthy for you. You know, we always got warned not too loud in the ears, you're going to mess up your hearing. You know, that was about the effect of music that I knew. And now stepping into sound therapy, you see it has so many uses that can help us as human beings and physically and mentally. And it's just a magical realm, and it's sound is everything around us all the time.
Magical. Yeah. And think of it this way. It's one of the first things you experienced as a baby not even born, because what's the first
Yes.
sound you hear? Mama's heartbeat. And
Yes.
in the womb for 24/7. So you've got the beat, you've got that, you've experienced that already, and those certain sounds. Can you hit us up, top of your head, some other frequencies, like the frequency of love? I'm trying to remember 587. I
I believe
do
it's
remember.
528.
Yes, thank you very
528.
much.
Yes. Another one that I really like, I have a little fork for it, so I'm going to show that one. 174. That's great for pain. You've got pain, 174 hertz. 741. I don't have that one out. It's great for throat chakra or the throat area. If
Really?
you're having blockages or anything there, 741 hertz is specific to that section.
Oh my gosh, never heard that one. The 528, that I'm horrible at remembering the frequencies, but that's one that's very popular. You can seek it out. Go on Spotify, YouTube, and find, type in 528 if you want a very uplifting, positive vibe, literally. And
Yes.
you'll say YouTube, it's all there.
Oh yeah, they have them everywhere. And you can so those are solfeggio tones, and if you want to search them, it'll give you a list of all of them and how they work in the body, just if for the listeners, if you want to know which ones apply to you. Solfeggio tones is what I use.
And it's so cool too, because you might be sitting at your desk doing some work. You throw on some music in the background, not really listening. It's just kind of there. Why not pick one of these frequencies to achieve a goal? And it might be a little weird in the beginning. You're like, what is that coming out of my speakers? After a while, you don't even know it. You're not your
You
subconscious is aware. You're really not. You're just going through your day, but it's getting in.
Yes. And you
Yeah.
feel that clarity and you feel that calmness with it. And you're like, okay.
Yeah. Yep. It's fascinating. The word you used, it magical. It is magical.
It really is. And I don't like to use that in my line of work, but it is. It is what it is.
And it's been proven. You can't take that away. I mean, that's,
Exactly.
again, that's ancient healers. What did they do? They made sounds.
They
You
made
know?
sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the best way for us to find you, Alisha?
The best way is insightpsychics.com/Alisha. You can text me or leave me a voicemail at 256-469-8111. And if you have any questions in general, send a message there and I can kind of help you out a little bit, and then just let me know where we're going.
Yeah, you do it all. And I still tell people about our session. I don't know, 2 weeks ago, whatever it was. And one particular thing that you said that nobody would have known. And it's in my life dealing with, you sold me on that. It's just, that came through along with a lot of other stuff, but they wouldn't, you nailed it, in terms of the psychic thing. So I just want people to realize that you're legit without a doubt.
Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you so much for today. We'll catch up soon. All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.